You guys, this is part 7 of the Defenders Rewrite series, the final part. I am so excited to show this to you guys. I am so happy. Thank you to everyone who has continued to watch it so far. If you've not seen parts 1 through 6, or maybe you just haven't seen them in a while, I would highly recommend going back and watching them again. The links are in the video description. There's a playlist. It's really easy to go through it all. But maybe you have seen them and you just don't have time to watch them all again, but you do want a quick recap of everything that's happened up until this point. I'm going to give you what on my computer is labeled as the Super Ultra Mega Recap. It covers everything from part 1 to part 6, leading you right into this final video. If you do not need it, you can go to this time in the video. Okay. Episode 1, Raising Hell. Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, defeats the rest of the Hand in New York City with a small assist from the Iron Fist Danny Rand and the Daughter of the Dragon Colleen Wing. Hogarth does a favor to Jessica Jones and gets Luke Cage out of prison. Luke finds out that a businesswoman named Alexandra Bont is developing Harlem into oblivion. Episode 2, Hard Times. Because of economic displacement caused by Alexandra, everyone notices an increase in street-level crime. Luke goes to a protest where he learns of a vandal calling himself the Wrecker who has become the people's champion. Danny destroys a Rand deal with Alexandra. Later that night, Luke investigates a mysterious lightning strike and is knocked unconscious by an unknown figure. Episode 3, Can I Get a Witness? After she hears about what happened to Luke, Claire calls Misty, Jessica, Danny, Colleen, and Matt for help. Misty and Jessica work together to try to figure out who hurt Luke, since they are the two best investigators Claire knows. Danny uses his G powers to heal Luke. Danny tries to track the energy signature of the weapon that hurt Luke. Matt tries to figure out if there's a new weapon in town. He goes and shakes down Turk Barrett and Justin Hammer and finds nothing. Jessica and Misty run into Danny and Colleen at the crime scene, and because Danny and Colleen both partially match the description that Jessica and Misty got of the person that knocked out Luke, Jessica and Misty attempt to bring Danny and Colleen in for questioning. Danny and Colleen refuse and get into a fight with Jessica and Misty. Right before either can hurt the other, Claire and a now healed Luke arrive, and Luke tells everyone that he remembers what happened the other night. Episode 4, Rock the House. Luke met someone at a construction site who was struck by lightning, and it turns out that person was the Wrecker. When Luke tried to take him to the hospital, the Wrecker refused and knocked out Luke with some kind of magic crowbar. Danny, Colleen, Misty, Jessica, Claire, and Luke all come up with a plan led by Danny to stop the Wrecker. They are going to use Danny's magic sensing abilities to find the Wrecker, and they're going to fight the Wrecker and take the crowbar from him. Claire calls Matt, but he refuses to help. Matt still doesn't want to work with the team after what happened to Elektra. Claire tells Matt where to find the group. The team tracks the Wrecker to a warehouse. Luke ambushes the Wrecker, and Danny and Jessica steal the crowbar from the Wrecker, but it is revealed that not only can the Wrecker summon the crowbar with his mind, like Thor does with Mjolnir, the Wrecker also has assembled a crew of 3 superpowered criminals who are calling themselves the Wrecking Crew. The first new member of the crew is super strong. He picks things up and throws them at Jessica. The second new member of the crew is super fast. He fights Luke Cage. The third new member of the Wrecking Crew is nearly invulnerable. He and the Wrecker fight Danny. And right as our heroes have almost lost, Matt, as Daredevil, arrives at the fight. After a pep talk from Stick, Matt has changed his mind. Matt turns off the lights at the warehouse and fights the Wrecking Crew, giving our heroes time to retreat. Episode 5, Walk This Way. The team meets for the first time and talks. There is friction between the members of the group. Matt comes up with a plan. Matt as Daredevil and Jessica investigate the construction site. Danny as Iron Fist and Luke hang back. Danny teaches Luke how to harness his chi. Matt and Jessica make a discovery using Matt's super hearing that there is a cave hidden under the construction site where they find a bunch of ancient markings and a pair of safety glasses. Episode 6, Wreck Shop. Because of the safety glasses, Jessica realizes that a prospective client is probably the Wrecker's girlfriend and explains to the group who she believes the Wrecker is. He is a construction worker named Dirk Garthwaite. Dirk went to prison but got out early on good behavior and turned his life around. Dirk got a job at a construction company which was bought by Alexandra Bont, and after seeing the harm she was doing to the community, Dirk adopted the identity of the Wrecker and vandalized Bond construction sites. He stumbled upon the magic crowbar, was imbued with its powers, and assembled a team with which he shared that power. Jessica does not know the identity of the other members of the team. After they learn about a wrecking crew attack that has resulted in a casualty, the team comes up with a plan to trap the wrecking crew. Danny reveals his identity to the group and explains that he can get Bond to hold a press conference that will attract the wrecking crew. Then our heroes can take them by surprise. But a monkey wrench is thrown into the plan when, the morning of the press conference, Jessica is arrested for trespassing. Episode 7, Down with the King. After learning about what happened to Jessica, the team splits up. Matt attempts to use his legal skills to get Jessica released, while Luke, Danny, Colleen, and Misty go to the press conference so they can defend Alexandra. Matt frees Jessica just as the wrecking crew attacks the press conference. Colleen and Misty keep everyone safe, while Luke and Danny work together to keep the wrecking crew busy until Matt and Jessica arrive. While Luke and Danny hold their own, they are outmatched, and at the last minute, Danny comes up with the idea to get himself kidnapped as Danny Rand so that he can infiltrate the wrecking crew's hideout.
Let's go!
Episode 8, Let's Stay Together. Our heroes, Matt Murdock, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Misty Knight, Claire Temple, and Colleen Wing, regroup at Matt's apartment. They try to strategize how to take the wrecking crew down. Malcolm and Trish show up with some more information. Foggy and Karen also show up because they're worried about Matt. Malcolm lets the team know that he's figured out who the other wrecking crew members are. Luke was right. They're people Dirk knew from prison. Dr. Elliot Franklin, Brian Koleski, and Henry Camp. And they aren't like Dirk, they are bad guys. So bad that they got their sentences extended for committing crimes while in prison. So that's going to be our heroes' angle. These guys are common criminals, not ideologues like Garthwaite. So maybe the team can split them up and pinch that nerve, convince some that Dirk is going to get them killed once Thor or the Hulk gets involved. They should get out while they still can. Maybe that can even cause a fight between the wrecking crew members, and the heroes can exploit it. Jessica points out that they don't even know where the wrecking crew is, and Luke says, "Let me try something." Then Luke sits down, closes his eyes, and focuses. Everyone but Colleen is confused. Then Luke sees Danny, tied up, meditating. Danny notices Luke, smiles, then Luke wakes up. The wrecking crew is at a warehouse in Queens. I can get us there. Jessica says, "Did you guys just mind meld?" Luke says, it's Chi. The kid taught me how to meditate, and I found him." Jessica gives him a look. Listen, the kid knows things." Jessica shrugs. So the specifics of the fight itself are not that important to me. What I really want to drive home, like with my Justice League rewrite, is a new dynamic within the team based on their growth over the series. Let's check back in on how everyone feels about one another. Matt and Danny have earned Jessica's trust by revealing their identities. Matt also helped Jessica in a unique way, so they have a stronger bond. Danny has also earned Matt's respect as a hero, which was always something Danny was after. Danny and Luke now have bonded over music and meditation. They're on their way to being good friends, like they always have been in the comics, the Heroes for Hire comics specifically. The meditation has also given Luke a bit of clarity and helped him deal with the stress of being Harlem's hero. Danny was also able to use his identity as Danny Rand to get something done, in getting the meeting with Alexandra and in tricking the wrecking crew into kidnapping him. Danny now sees some value in being Danny Rand. Being around the other heroes has taught Jessica the value of pure heroism, and now she sees value in helping people who cannot afford her help. So that leaves Matt. Matt needs to learn the value of being on a team. So that leads us into the fight itself. Our heroes find the wrecking crew at the warehouse. The warehouse is located next to a demolition site. Matt, Luke, and Jessica drop into the warehouse. The wrecking crew meets them. Wrecker says, "So, you're here to rescue little Danny Rand." Matt says, "Did you hurt him?" Wrecker says, "Oh, not yet. He's been crying in his cell." Jessica says, "Bullshit." Wrecker says, "All right, fine. He's been sleeping." Pile driver, aka Koleski, comes in. "Oh, little fella's all tuckered out." Luke says, "Give up. Wrecker says, I don't know if you don't remember, but we beat you twice now. Jessica says, he wasn't talking to you, Dirk. Matt says, Franklin, Koluski, Camp, this isn't your fight. You don't care about Harlem. This idiot is gonna get you in trouble. You could see kind of Franklin almost budge. Wheels are turning in his head, thinking about how the Wrecker might get them in trouble. But the Wrecker chimes in, don't forget where you got this power. Plus, they can't stop us. Nobody can. Then the Wrecking Crew gains a little resolve. And to prove it, let's kill him. The Wrecking Crew gets ready for a fight. Well, we gave him a chance. So Wrecker tells Piledriver, and don't let him get rammed. They might not be alone. Jessica says, shit, are they gonna be okay? And Luke says, she can handle herself. They all can. Then we see Misty, Colleen, and Claire sneaking in to free Danny. Luke says, you guys ready? Matt says, like we planned. Then Matt passes Jessica his batons. Be careful with these. Jessica says, relax, devil. Luke says, aw, you got it right. Jessica says, don't get too used to it, power man. And then we flash back to an earlier scene. Everyone discussing the fight. Matt says, so Colleen, Misty, and Claire need to go get Danny and give him his uniform. They don't know who he is yet. We owe it to Danny to protect his identity. Luke says, so we distract him. Run out the clock? Matt says, exactly. Then Luke says, I want the Wrecker. I can beat him. And Jessica says, and I'll take the throwing guy, referring to Thunderball. Matt says, no, that's what they're expecting. We need to play to our own strengths. Luke, you take Franklin. Luke says, but I can beat the Wrecker. Matt says, maybe, but he'll be expecting it. Plus, you're the only one that can take a direct hit from Franklin and keep fighting. Luke thinks for a second. Okay. Matt says, I'll take Koluski and Camp. I'm fast enough to stop Koluski and keep Camp busy. Hopefully, I can use them against each other. And Jessica says, so wait, that leaves me with, Matt says, Wrecker. Jessica says, are you kidding? Matt says, no, you're strong, fast, you'll never see it coming. I'll give you my batons, they're reinforced steel. You shouldn't be able to break them. And Jessica says, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not a ninja. And Matt says, neither is he. So back to the fight. Matt tells the group, stay close, ask for help. And Jessica looks at Matt, piss him off. Jessica smiles. That's our Hulk smash moment from Avengers. Then we get the one-on-one fights with the new partners, and it goes well. Luke catches everything Thunderball throws at him. Matt is able to keep Bulldozer busy and even trick him into running into Thunderball. And Jessica is able to spar with the Wrecker. Jessica also makes a couple of jokes at the Wrecker's expense about how his trench coat looks stupid or whatever. This makes the Wrecker angry. And Colleen, Misty, and Claire try to rescue Danny. They're caught by Piledriver, who hasn't dealt specifically with them yet. He asks who they are, and Colleen replies, we're the Daughters of the Dragon. It's a fun way to establish that team. Claire takes a backpack while Colleen and Misty fight Piledriver. Claire gets the costume to Danny, then Danny as Iron Fist knocks Piledriver down, and Colleen, Misty, and Claire get to safety. So now we have the entire team, Matt, Jessica Jones, Luke, and Danny, facing off against the entire Wrecking Crew. Danny asks, what's the plan? Matt says, well, it was to get them to turn on each other, but that didn't work so well. And Danny says, so now we fight him? Luke says, we fight him. Danny says, works for me. So last big fight, everyone is working together, perfect harmony. Problem is, the Wrecking Crew is also doing well together. They are two evenly matched teams. And at one point, Luke gets hit and flies through a wall onto the nearby demolition site. When Jessica's distracted, she is also hit hard, flies through the air over to the site. Now the fight's outside. Matt and Danny go to check on them. Luke and Jessica get up. The Wrecking Crew follows them out of the building. Then Wrecker gets real cocky. Says, this gives me an idea. He looks over at some of the equipment in the site, and then over at camp. How about we call you Bulldozer, and you can be Piledriver. Not sure about you, Franklin. Any ideas? Franklin says, yeah, I've got one. And then Franklin goes over to a wrecking ball, breaks the chain connecting the wrecking ball to the vehicle. Then he throws the chain over his head. How about Thunderball? That works. Jessica says, you're all so cute with your little names. Wrecker says, you should come up with one for yourself. It'll look nice on your tombstone. So then last big fight, the Defenders versus the Wrecking Crew. This is the peak of the team fighting together. Again, I'm light on details, but here's where things take a turn. Matt and Jessica are fighting the Wrecker and Thunderball. Jessica is still talking to the Wrecker, and he says, I gave you a chance to get out. Should have taken it. Then something clicks for Matt. Of course, Jessica says, what? Matt says, it didn't make sense how you got out of prison so quickly with just good behavior, but now I get it. Wrecker says, what? Jessica says, he ratted them out. Danny says, wait, what? Matt says, they were dealing drugs in prison together, and Garthwaite sold the other 3 out for a lighter sentence. Wrecker says, he's lying. Matt says, I can hear your heartbeat. I'm not lying. Thunderball says, is he telling the truth? Wrecker says, come on, you know me. Piledriver says, and? The defenders back off a little bit. Bulldozer says, I lost another 5 years of my life in there. Then Wrecker says, but look what I got you. And Thunderball says, you son of a bitch. Then the wrecking crew turns on the Wrecker. The Wrecker says, you ungrateful little... I gave you this, I can take it back. Bulldozer runs over to Wrecker, but Wrecker hits him with the crowbar. Bulldozer goes flying. Bulldozer lands and shrinks back to normal size. I don't know how clear I was about this before, but these guys are slightly hulked out, like a 6-foot guy becomes a 7-foot guy. Piledriver runs in, gets a few body shots on the Wrecker, but then Wrecker knocks him out with the crowbar. Piledriver also loses his power. Last one is Thunderball, who runs in, tries to hit Wrecker with the wrecking ball, but the Wrecker uses his crowbar to break the wrecking ball in half and then tosses the crowbar at Thunderball, knocking him out. Now it's just the Wrecker versus the defenders. They have a big fun team fight that ends with Danny using a chi-powered Iron Fist punch to knock the crowbar out of the Wrecker's hands into Luke's. Then Luke hits the Wrecker with the crowbar and the Wrecker is KO'd. Misty and some police come in and arrest the wrecking crew. Last scene is a press conference with Danny Rand. Danny says, as you know, earlier this week, I was assaulted and kidnapped by a superpowered terrorist known as the Wrecker and his team of thugs. But I was rescued by a team of New York's protectors. Private investigator Jessica Jones, Harlem's hero Luke Cage, a mysterious ninja who calls himself the Iron Fist, and of course the protector of Hell's Kitchen known as the Daredevil. Alone, they're heroes. But together, they are something more. They are our defenders. And because of their example, I am also going to work to defend this city. Effective immediately, Rand Enterprises will cease all development projects with Bond construction. Furthermore, Rand Enterprises will work to rebuild the parts of our city that Bond has torn down and bring back affordable housing to the people of New York. This city is more than buildings. It's people. The defenders reminded me of that. I am forever in their debt. Danny steps down from the podium, shakes hands with Luke Cage, who is outside with him, and goes inside his building, meets Matt, Jessica, Colleen, Misty, and Claire. Matt walks up to Danny. So you're a ninja now? That's what they're gonna call me anyway. Might as well lean into it. That's fair. And hey, Matt, don't be so hard on yourself. You're good at this. Good at what? Working with people. On a team. You should stop running from it. We can help you. Matt looks around at everyone. It just might. Jessica and Luke walk up to Matt and Danny. So we have meetings now, like a super-powered book club? I'm not a big reader. And what do we call ourselves? I think Iron Lad took care of that one. I did? Matt says, yep, we're the Defenders. Oh, and stick around for the rest of the video because there might be a post-credit scene at the end somewhere. But first, pay attention. See if you can spot this very subtle transition. Daredevil is a character from comics who has in the past fought another character from comics called the Taskmaster. And then if you would also like to become a Taskmaster, I would highly recommend checking out fellow YouTuber Thomas Frank's new class called Real Productivity: How to Build Habits That Last. It's a really interesting class. In it, Thomas talks about setting up goals, also using different systems to help keep track of your goals, just like something as simple as checking off dates on a calendar, or something a bit more complicated like Habitica, a way to gamify completing tasks. And if you'd like to get a look at Real Productivity, How to Build Habits That Last, and over 25,000 other classes, I would definitely recommend checking out this video's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. With so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives, Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. There are classes in productivity, design, writing, video editing, so much more. Skillshare offers classes designed for real life so you can move your creative journey forward without putting your life on hold. You can learn and grow with short classes that fit your busy routine. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes or workshops. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. And if you would like to join the millions of people already learning on Skillshare today, you can get 2 months of Skillshare for free if you click in the link in this video description. Make 2020 a year where you explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity with Skillshare's online classes. What you find might just surprise and inspire you.
First of all, even before the patrons, thank you to everybody who has watched, shared, talked about this series. It has been so much fun to write. I was so happy with the way it all came out. I have walked by people on the street who have said, "Hey, it's Nando from Nando V Movies. When are you going to finish the Defenders rewrite?" So thank you guys so much for being interested, for talking about it. It's so cool, and I really love this project. As always, I have to give a humongous thank you to everyone who continues to support the channel on Patreon. You guys are the best. If you want to see your name up here, get access to videos early, other cool stuff, What other cool stuff? Well, I'll give you some other cool stuff. I'm going to be doing a monthly video where I discuss one topic. It's going to be kind of a one-take, maybe 30-minute long video. I'm going to release a different one every month. And you may be wondering, hey, what topic are you going to discuss? Is it something you're going to decide? I am not going to pick what I talk about. That is going to be up to a new Patreon tier, which is called the Illuminati. If you pledge $5 or more a month, you will get to make a suggestion. That suggestion will be what I will talk about in my video. And then you guys will get to vote on the suggestions. That is what the Illuminati will do. Then I will make this video and it'll go to all of the patrons. So you guys will all be able to see it, but only the Illuminati will be able to decide what that video is. Some ideas for what these videos will be. How would I integrate the X-Men into the MCU? How do I make my videos? Which cat should have won the Jellicle Ball? What's the best snack? It can be anything within reason, and that is all up to the Illuminati. So if you want to be part of that group, go to patreon.com/NandoVMovies and throw in $5. And if you don't, you can still throw in any amount of money and still be part of the patrons, which means you'll be able to see this video when it is brought online. It's awesome. I love you guys so much. Also, I've got to plug my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking, where every week me and my co-hosts DJ and Diggins pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. We did an episode on Star Wars. We did an episode on Cats. We're going to be doing episodes on the Emancipation of Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, or whatever that movie's called. Bad Boys for Life. Maybe Doolittle if you guys are really interested. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are at NitPickingPod on Twitter. And as always, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/NandoVMovies. It's where I post updates on videos and podcasts, and where I post my semi-yearly reminder that award shows are a big dumb waste of everyone's time. #Dolomite was Rob. I am at NandoVMovies on Twitter. That is all I've got. I will see you guys next time.
Okay, the post-credit scene. And yeah, this would probably be hard to pull off for reasons that will become obvious once you see it. But hey, if the CW can get away with some of the things they did in their crossover, we should be able to get away with this in the, at the time, technically connected MCU shows. So,
Danny and Colleen are at the dojo. There's a knock on the door. Who could that be? Danny puts on his mask, powers up. Colleen grabs her sword and opens the door to find plainclothes Stephen Strange. "Hello, my name is Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. You have something I need." Colleen's confused. Danny says, "Hold on. The Sorcerer Supreme is real? I thought it was just a myth." "I am much more than just a myth, Danny Rand." Danny depowers. "And as the Sorcerer Supreme, it's my duty to look after all of this world's magical artifacts, including that." Strange motions to the crowbar. Danny says, "We're not just gonna give it to you. How do we know you aren't part of the hand, or worse?" Colleen says, "And where were you when all this was happening?" "Fair point. I was busy, in another dimension. Long story. And also, you can't keep that artifact from me." Strange points to the artifact. It's gone. We look back at Strange. He is now holding it. "If I already have it." "Relax, Danny, Colleen. It's in safekeeping."
If you ever want to check back in on it, here's where to find me. Strange flicks a business card over to Danny, Strange opens a portal to the sanctum and walks through. In fact, I had Wong make some tea. You should come over. We have a lot to discuss.
Danny smiles, Danny and Colleen walk through the portal. The end.